Here's how you learn over 1,500 words, a printable resource that boosts your retention and makes learning fun, visual flashcards. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. First, what are visual flashcards? Visual flashcards are our printable flashcards that teach you 1,500 words across 60 topics. And if you're a beginner, these are an easy way to learn the most common words and speak more of your target language for free. For every flashcard, you'll get the word, the image, and the translation for easy retention. And your job is to go through and drill these flashcards and boost your vocabulary. But there are several ways you can learn with these that I'll talk about a bit later. How to get started with the printable visual flashcards. To get these visual flashcards, just click the link and sign up for a free lifetime account to our learning program. And these are a free resource for our members. So once you've signed up, check your email to activate your account and download the visual flashcards. Then print out PDF files and make sure to print in double-side format so you have the words on one side and the meanings on the other. And then cut out the cards and you're ready to go. How you'll learn words and phrases even faster. Now, you might be wondering, why not just study with digital flashcards? And yes, you can also find spaced repetition flashcards inside our program. However, there are benefits to learning with physical materials that'll actually help you learn better. If you're learning on your phone or your computer, you'll have tons of notifications and distractions. And chances are you'll get sidetracked and end up on another website, YouTube video, or app. It's almost impossible to focus, and you won't learn anything well if you can't focus. Our visual flashcards are a physical resource, which means there are no distractions. 5 minutes spent on physical flashcards will be much more effective than 5 minutes on your phone, where you have app companies constantly trying to get your attention. With the flashcards, you get one word per card, so you can easily focus on one word at a time and nothing else. Plus, physical flashcards are more easily accessible. If they're sitting on your desk, you can quickly take a look, but an app that's buried on the second or third page of your home screen will easily be overlooked and you won't learn anything at all. And physically interacting with the words and the cards will help reinforce your memory. Now, let's get into how to learn with these flashcards. 5 ways to learn with the visual flashcards. Once you've downloaded and printed the flashcards, here's what you can do. 1. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes and pick out 20 cards. Spend the first half reviewing the cards and the second half testing yourself on the meanings. 2. For the words that you struggle with, keep them in a separate pile. That way, you can focus on just the hard words and skip the ones you know. 3. Since the words are separated across 60 topics, you can focus on one topic at a time and keep at it until you're done with all 60 topics. 4. Place the cards on the objects they represent around your home. Or 5. Turn it into a game with your friends. Have them quiz you on the words. So pick which way works best for you and learn with our visual flashcards. Okay, so if you want to boost your vocabulary and speak more of your target language, download our visual flashcards for free right now. Just click the link and sign up for a free lifetime account to our learning program. Hi everybody, welcome back to Ask Alicia, the weekly series where you ask me questions and I answer them. Maybe. Let's get to your first question this week. First question this week comes from Gerardo Vega. Hi Gerardo. Gerardo says, hi Alicia, I'd like to know the difference between stare and look at. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, nice question. So let's break down the differences between stare and look. Let's begin by reviewing the meaning of the verb to look. So to look means to focus your eyes on something, to direct your eyes onto something. So for example, we could say, look at the camera, or look over there, or look at this picture, right? It means move your eyes and use them to focus your attention or direct your eyes in this direction or that direction. So to look is like the most basic way that we can talk about seeing something, right? It's about directing the eyes in some way. On the other hand, to stare means to direct your eyes on something and not move. So when we stare at something, we look at it for a very long time and with very strong focus. We use the word to stare when we're talking about looking at other people a lot. And this is often used to talk about uncomfortable situations. So here's an example sentence. The staff stared at me while I ate my food in the restaurant. So in this example sentence, the staff in the restaurant just watched me without doing anything else while I ate my food in the restaurant. It's an uncomfortable situation, right? So when we stare at another person, it means we look at them, only at them, for like a long time without stopping. And when we say stare, it often has this feeling of like uncomfortable levels of focus, or like the person is maybe doing something strange, like the person that is being watched is doing something strange. You might feel like you're doing something strange, or it feels a little bit creepy somehow. So when we stare at another person, we are watching them without looking at anything else, like the focus is just on them. So we tend to use this verb a lot when we're talking about other people, like he stared at her from across the room or something like that, or she stared at the man as he was walking down the street. So when we stare, it's often like, looking at someone very intently for a long period of time. On the other hand, look just means to use your eyes to move around, kind of. So if I said, for example, the staff looked at me when I received my order, it sounds totally normal, right? Like you look at the person when you give them something, right? In that sentence, it sounds totally normal, like a normal situation. If I said the staff stared at me as I took my order and went to my seat, it sounds like it's a little bit uncomfortable. So this is the difference between to look and to stare. So I hope this helps you understand the differences between these two verbs. Thanks very much for the question. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Tula. Hi, Tula. Tula says, what's the meaning of he has big shoes to fill? Nice question. So we can use the expression he has big shoes to fill, or she has big shoes to fill, or you have big shoes to fill, usually in like work situations or perhaps in school situations. So this is an expression that we use when one person is replacing another person. So let's use an example situation. Let's say person A has been working at a company for 10 years and they did a great job, but they've decided to change jobs, okay? So the company has hired person B, a new person. Person A was so good at their job, many people really liked them, and person B is going to take over that person's job, their responsibilities. So the co-workers at the company, or maybe the team members there, might say to person B, you have big shoes to fill. This is saying you have a lot of responsibility now, and it's like saying the person that came before you was a really great person, or they were really great at their job, and they did such a good job that it's going to be very, very hard for someone to replace them. The kind of thinking that might help you to remember this expression is to remember that, like, if someone has a big shoe, they have a big foot that goes inside it, right? If you have a big role or a big responsibility, it takes a big person to do all of those kinds of things, right? To take care of all those things, like to manage a team and so on. So you can kind of imagine the role or the responsibility, like the person's job in this situation, as being like the big kind of shoe. And the person that is in that shoe or in that job has to be a big enough person to take care of all of those things. So that might be helpful for some of you to kind of remember that this is like a role and a person that needs to fill that role, to do all the things in the role. So when we say, wow, you have big shoes to fill, it means the person who came before you was really, really great, or lots of people loved that person. They did a great job, and now it's up to you to try to get to the same level as that person. So this is a very positive expression. We use it to mean person A was great and we really liked them. We hope that you can do the same thing, but it's going to be a challenge. So some people might feel a little bit worried. If you're person B, you might feel a little bit worried, like, oh gosh, that person A, everybody loved person A. I don't know if I can do this. But they might be a very supportive team. It might be a good situation. So it kind of depends on the situation a little bit. Generally, if you are person A and someone says that about you, that means that people really appreciate you. If you're person B and someone says that, it means they have really high hopes, like expectations, and the other person was really great. So this is what the expression big shoes to fill means. I hope that that answers your question. Thanks very much for sending it along. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Paulo Navais. Hi, Paulo. Paulo asks, could you tell me the difference between we told him to wake up by 6 a.m. and we told him to wake up at 6 a.m.? Thanks. Okay, so the difference here, the key difference here is by 6 a.m. and at 6 a.m. What is the difference? Let's start with at 6 a.m. So we told him to wake up at 6 a.m. means at exactly 6 o'clock. At exactly 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 a.m., this person's alarm will go off and the person will wake up. That is at 6 a.m. However, if we say by 6 a.m., it means 6 a.m. and any time before 6 a.m. So 5 a.m. is okay, 4 a.m. is okay, 5:30, 5:45. Any time before 6 a.m. is also okay, no later than 6. So this is the difference between by and at when we're talking about time. So we could say, in other situations too, please call me back by 5 p.m. means any time before 5 is okay. Please call me back at 5 p.m. means exactly 5 p.m. Please call me. So do not call me at 4 or 4:30 or 3. Call me at exactly 5. So this is the difference between at and by. It's a really good one to keep in mind. So I hope that that helps, and I hope that that answers your question. Thanks so much for sending it along. All right, that is everything that I have for this week. Thank you, as always, for sending your great questions. Remember, you can send them to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alicia. That is a very long URL, so please find the link in the YouTube description and send me your questions on the official question submission page. I'm always on the lookout for questions from you. So if you enjoyed this lesson, of course, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, check us out at englishclass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this week's episode of Ask Alicia, and I will see you again next time. Bye!
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Wow, I just had a bit of déjà vu.
Oh yeah?
I visited San Francisco years ago, and I remember walking down this road with some friends. We were eating some chocolate.
What did you like most about San Francisco?
The people. There's a diverse mix of people in the city, and that makes it all the more interesting.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Déjà vu.
A feeling of having already experienced the present situation.
Eating.
Putting food into the mouth, chewing and swallowing it.
Purchased.
To acquire something by paying for it. Buy.
Mix.
Two or more things that have been combined.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Wow, I just had a bit of déjà vu.
Oh yeah?
I visited San Francisco years ago, and I remember walking down this road with some friends. We were eating some chocolate.
What did you like most about San Francisco?
The people. There's a diverse mix of people in the city, and that makes it all the more interesting.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
This is the E sound, and this is the I sound. Both extremely important vowel sounds in American English. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to tell them apart, plus you'll be practicing them and on your way to perfect pronunciation. I'm Alicia, and this is English pronunciation through minimal pairs. First is E. This is the E sound in eat, read, feel, and other words. I is the I sound in it, rid, fill, and other words. E and I are called front vowels because they're pronounced in the front part of your mouth. To make the E sound, the teeth move slightly apart, the lips pull far back, and the front of the tongue moves up. The tongue does not touch the teeth or the roof of the mouth. E. 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 To make the I sound, the lips and teeth part slightly. The front of the tongue moves toward the roof of the mouth. I. 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 Learners tend to think the difference between these two sounds is about how long the vowel sound is, but really it's about the quality of the vowel sound. E is more tensed, and I is more relaxed. When you say the vowel E, like in beat, your tongue is high up and towards the front of your mouth, and your lips are stretched out more. For the vowel I, like in bit, your tongue is a bit lower and your lips are more relaxed. So it's not about how long you hold the sound, but more about the position of your tongue and how you shape your lips. Listen to the difference and repeat after me. E. I. E. I. E. I. E. I. E. I. E. I. So try to focus on the tenseness instead of the length when you pronounce these two sounds. Listen and repeat, or speak along with me. Ready? Beat, bit, beat, bit. Sheep, ship, sheep, ship. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Do you remember the sound that's more relaxed? I. I. And the more tensed sound? E. E. Let's practice. Compare the sounds in these two words. Which word has the more tensed sound and which has the more relaxed sound? Beat, bit. Beat, bit. Beat has the more tensed sound, and bit has the more relaxed sound. Let's try another. Sheep, ship. Sheep, ship. Ship has the more relaxed sound, and sheep has the more tensed sound. Let's try one more. Feel, fill. Feel, fill. Fill has the more relaxed sound, and feel has the more tensed sound. Now listen to the following sentences. Which words have the more relaxed sound and which have the more tensed sound? I want to eat it all up. I had to read the book before I got rid of it. Read the following sentence out loud, focusing on the different sounds. The reach of the rich was far and wide. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this video, I'm going to talk about the differences between present perfect tense and past perfect tense. Let's get started. Okay, first I want to talk about present perfect tense. We're going to look at two uses of this grammar point. First, we use present perfect tense to express an action or a condition that happened at some time in the past. So this is a non-specific action, yeah? If we imagine this on a timeline, it might look like this. So here's the timeline we're going to use for this lesson. We have the past, and the present, and the future here, yeah? If we imagine this use of present perfect, which we use for life experience, like travel experience or job experience, it might look like this. So I have in blue dots here all of this space before the present, and a question mark here too. So this question mark refers to not knowing or it not being important when an action happened, yeah? So this is the first use of present perfect tense, to talk about something that happened just sometime in the past. When is not important or we don't know. Now let's look at the second use of present perfect. We use this to express an action that started in the past and continues to the present, or the effects of the action continue to the present. So what does this look like on a timeline? Here in red is this use of present perfect. So we mark the start point here with this check. And then the wavy line shows the action is continuing. This continues to the present. So this type of present perfect is used to show things that started sometime in the past and that are still true now, or they're continuing now. Okay? So let's look at how we create present perfect tense, and then we'll take a look at some example sentences and break them down. So first, with present perfect tense, you need to think about your subject. If your subject is I, you, we, or they, we follow it with have. To make the sentence negative, not goes in this position, and then we follow this with a past participle verb. If the subject of the sentence is he, she, or it, we follow it with has. Again, not is in this position after has. And again, we end with the past participle verb form. To make a present perfect continuous structure, we use been in the past participle verb form and follow it with a continuous verb. So you can think of replacing this part, past participle verb, with been, which is the past participle form of be, and follow it with the ing form of a verb. Okay? So let's take a look at some example sentences and break down what's happening here. First sentence, I have been to France. I have been to France. Here my subject is I. We follow with have. Past participle verb is been. So be becomes been. I have been to France. This sentence reflects use number 1 of present perfect tense. So the speaker here is talking about general life experience. I have been to France. When? It's not important. Or maybe they don't remember. They were very young. But they just want to express that life experience. I have been to France sometime before now. That's use number 1 of present perfect. Let's look at another example. She has not finished her homework. She has not finished her homework. Here we have a negative. So this sentence is she, followed by has, in this case the negative, she has not. Past participle verb is finished. She has not finished her homework. So this sentence shows a negative condition or a negative experience, something that is not true. In this case, she has not finished her homework at any time before the present. She has not finished her homework. You might also see a sentence like this with yet at the end. She has not finished her homework yet. That shows we expect she's going to finish her homework, but it has not happened yet. So this expresses that lack of life experience, no experience in this case. In this case, not being finished with homework. Okay? She has not finished her homework. All right, let's look at the next example sentence. We have worked here for 5 years. We have worked here for 5 years. It follows this pattern. We have worked here for 5 years. This sentence includes this 4 or 5 years point. So 4 or 5 years, or you might also see a since point in time structure, helps us to know that it's talking about a continuing action or a continuing condition. That's use number 2 of present perfect. We have worked here for 5 years. This shows us 5 years ago was the start point for the action. And then the action continued to the present. We have worked here for 5 years. A common question about a sentence like this is, can I use the continuous form here? Like, we have been working here for 5 years? Yes. There are some verbs that are okay to use in this form and in the continuous form. Some very common examples are live and work. So this sentence would be okay in continuous as well. We have worked here for 5 years. So this shows our continuing action and the length of time the action has continued. Okay, let's look at one more example sentence then. They have not been sleeping well. They have not been sleeping well. Here we have a negative and a continuous form. So they have not been sleeping well. What does this mean? So this means starting from some point in the past, we don't know exactly when. Maybe they have not been sleeping well recently, or they have not been sleeping well lately, would be common. This condition, not sleeping well, has continued for some period of time. They have not been sleeping well. So we use present perfect in these 2 ways, to talk about general life experience or no life experience, and to talk about actions and conditions that started in the past and continue to the present. So with this in mind, let's look now at past perfect tense and see how we use this one. Again, I want to talk about 2 uses of past perfect here. So the first one, we use past perfect to express an action or condition that happened before another past action. So that means we use past perfect to show the sequence of past actions, one action happening before another action. We use past perfect to help us do this. On a timeline, we can imagine it like this. Here's our past, present, and future. Use number 1 is here in blue. So we use past perfect to represent action 1 in this situation. Action 1 happens, action 2 happens. So we want to talk about 2 past tense actions. we describe the first action or condition with past perfect tense. We use simple past tense for the second action. We'll see an example sentence that shows us this later. Okay, now let's look at the second use here. This is in continuous, in past perfect continuous. So we use past perfect continuous to express an action or condition that started in the past and continued until another past action changed or interrupted it. So what does this mean? Until another past action changed or interrupted it. Let's look at this on the timeline. Again, we have action 1 and action 2 here. So with this use, action 1 started here at the checkpoint. This is where action 1 started. The wavy line shows the action continued in the past. Then action 2 happened. Something caused action 1 to stop, or maybe it caused action 2 to change in some way. So we use simple past tense for action 2. Action 1 expresses the continuing past action. Action 2 expresses the change. So again, we'll see an example sentence of this in just a moment. All right, let's quickly refresh our minds on how to make this grammar, and then we'll go to our example sentences. With this grammar, we don't need to worry about different subjects like I, you, and he, and she. We can just use subject plus had. To make it negative, we use not in this position, and then we end with a past participle verb. To create the continuous or progressive form of this grammar, we use been in this position and follow with an ing verb, the continuous form of the verb. So let's take a look at some example sentences and break down what's happening. First one, I had been to France by the time I graduated from college. I had been to France by the time I graduated from college. So what are the two actions in this sentence? First, I had been to France. So here is my past perfect action. I had been. In this case, been is my past participle verb. I had been to France. And the second action, by the time I graduated, here's my past tense verb. By the time I graduated from college, simple past tense. So this sentence shows us two situations, two past situations or actions. I had been to France, so going to France happened first, and then going to college happened second. So we show this sequence with our grammar. Past perfect first, simple past second. Let's look at another example. She hadn't finished her homework yet, but her friends came over. She hadn't finished her homework yet, but her friends came over anyway, maybe, as kids do. So what's happening in this sentence? Here we have a negative. I've used the reduced form. Had not becomes hadn't. I've reduced it here. She hadn't finished her homework yet. That's one, action one, or condition one. And second, but her friends came over. So came over here is in simple past tense. Her friends came over. So there's my first condition, not being finished with homework. She hadn't finished her homework yet, but her friends came over anyway. So we show the sequence of actions with this grammar point. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at some sentences that use past perfect continuous. Let's see how we use this. First, we had been working in silence for 2 hours when the phone rang. We had been working in silence for 2 hours when the phone rang. So what are the two actions or conditions here? First, we had been working. So I have this been working continuous structure. We had been working, that's one. And the phone rang. Here's my past tense verb. So ring becomes rang in simple past tense, right? So this sentence shows us, if we use to here, action one, working in silence. So here's my condition. Working in silence was action number one or condition number one. And then my past tense action happened. The phone rang. So in this case, I want to describe the change in condition. Working in silence for a long time, in this case, 2 hours, and then the phone rings to stop the silence, right? We mark that with simple past tense. So we use this continuous followed by simple past tense structure to communicate this. Okay, Let's look at one more example. He had not been sleeping well for weeks, so he went to the doctor. He had not been sleeping well for weeks, so he went to the doctor. So, in this case, we have a negative here. He had not been sleeping well for weeks. So, here's where the condition starts. So in this case, not sleeping well. This condition continued for weeks. So, he went to the doctor. Simple past tense action which marks a change in the condition. So, we use past perfect continuous for the first one and simple past tense again for the second action. So you can kind of see a theme, I hope. We use past perfect together with simple past tense to show a sequence of actions. One action happening before another, where there's just two things in a row, or one action that continued and was stopped. So we use past perfect to do this. We use present perfect to talk about our general life experience and to talk about things that started in the past and continue to the present, as well as continuing beyond, perhaps. So I hope that this lesson gave you a good idea of the differences between present perfect tense and past perfect tense. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some example sentences with this grammar, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also, check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome back to Top Words. In this lesson, we're going to talk about 10 expressions for receiving things. So let's get started. I got. The first expression is I got. I got. This is a very basic expression you can use when you receive anything and you want to report to someone else. Got is the past tense of get. So I got followed by the item you received. So I got a present. I got a bonus. I got a great new job. Anything you received, you can report about it with got. I got. In a sentence, I got a really nice present from my students. I received. The next expression is I received. I received. So received has really the same meaning as got, but received is more formal. So we use received, the past tense form of receive, for more polite situations or maybe for more important things that we get. So get and receive have roughly the same meaning, but receive has a higher level of formality about it. In a sentence, I received a holiday bonus from my company. My gave me. The next expression is my something something gave me, where something something is a person, someone that you have a relationship with, like a family member, a coworker, boss, neighbor, whatever. So like my neighbor gave me a housewarming present, or my mother gave me a bouquet of flowers. My boyfriend gave me chocolate, for example. So we use this expression when we want to mention the person who gave something, and we want to report who received that thing. So we use past tense give, gave, my something something gave me blah 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 in this case. So we can change the people in the sentence to show like the exchange of objects, the exchange of items, the passing of items between different people. In a sentence, my brother gave me a gift card. Thank you so much. The next expression is thank you so much. Thank you so much. So of course, if you receive something, it's good manners to say thank you for that. So when you receive a gift, it's good to say thank you or thank you so much to express your appreciation. So please don't forget this important phrase when you receive something or when you are given something. In a sentence, thank you so much for the present. What is it? The next expression is, what is it? What is it? So sometimes you receive like kind of a strangely shaped package, or maybe the item you receive is not clear. You don't know what the object is. In that case, you can simply ask, what is it? What is it? So try to do this in a happy way. If you say, what is it? You might have like kind of a problem with the person who gave the gift to you. So try to say, whoa, what is it? Like to show that you're surprised, that you're interested. So please be careful with your intonation with this expression. What is it? In a sentence, whoa, a present. What is it? Can I open it? The next expression is, can I open it? Can I open it? So if you get a present somewhere and maybe you're not sure if it's the right time to open the present, you can ask the person who gave you the present, can I open it? Is it okay to reveal the present? We use the verb open for presents, to open a present. In a sentence, wow, thanks. Can I open it? You really shouldn't have. The next expression is you really shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. This is kind of a nice expression to say, thank you so much, but you should not have purchased this item for me. So it's kind of like a little bit of a self-deprecation, like you're lowering yourself a little bit with this expression. Like, oh, thank you, but you should not have purchased this. You shouldn't have given me this gift. It's too much. It's too much. Like, but we also use it to show appreciation too. Ah, you shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. But usually this expression is said with a smile at the same time. In a sentence, a present for me? You really shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have can reflect like, oh gosh, you shouldn't have gone through all that effort. You didn't need to take the time to buy me a gift, in other words. So nice expression, I think. That's really nice of you. Let's go on to the next one, which is, that's really nice of you. That's really nice of you. So again, this is an expression we can use to show appreciation. Wow, that's really nice of you. So that's really nice of you to do, in other words. So thank you for doing a nice thing, in other words. That's really nice of you. That's really nice of you. So again, an appreciation expression. In a sentence, wow, that's really nice of you. I really appreciate it. The next expression is, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So maybe a step above, thank you very much, is I really appreciate it. So to appreciate something is like to be grateful, to show your thanks for something. I really appreciate it. So we use this in slightly more formal situations to express our gratitude for something. Again, a very positive and appreciative expression. I really appreciate it. In a sentence, thank you. I really appreciate it. This is great. The next expression is, this is great. This is great. So make sure to use this kind of intonation. Make sure to use an upward intonation when you say this. You get a present, you get something, you've received something, and you want to say you're happy with it. You can say, this is great. Make sure to use that happy intonation. If you say, this is great, it's like, oh no, it's not sincere at all. So try to make sure your voice sounds happy when you use that. In a sentence, a new sweater? This is great. So those are 10 expressions for receiving things. I hope that those are useful expressions for you. And if you have any other expressions that you'd like to use, please make sure to let us know in the comment section below this video. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other good resources. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to talk about 10 ways to express fear and surprise. Let's get started. Yeah, you scared me. The first expression is, you scared me. You scared me. So to scare is the verb here, and we're using the past tense, you scared me. So you caused me to be frightened. You scared me. We use this when we feel surprised or scared. So your friend suddenly jumps out from behind. You scared me. I thought you tipped over a liquid onto the camera. So you scared me. It's like, yeah, oh my gosh, you frightened me. In other words, you caused me to be afraid. In a sentence, you scared me. You scared the out of me. The next expression is, you scared the something out of me. You scared the blah, blah, blah out of me. in the blah, blah, blah here, in the space, we can use a lot of different words. Some of them are really, really rude words. You might have heard a few of these on like TV shows or in English-speaking movies. So in this lesson, I'm going to introduce like some kind of not so rude words. You can use you scared like the bejesus out of me. You scared the heck out of me. You scared the hell out of me. So it's a more extreme version of you scared me. So you scared the something out of me. Like the image is I was so frightened that something came out of my body. And it's usually like a negative or like a rude word we use to emphasize how frightened we were. You scared the hell out of me. Oh my gosh. So that's kind of a common expression. So in a sentence, geez, you scared the hell out of me. That really freaks me out. The next expression is that really freaks me out. That really freaks me out. So to freak someone out or like to freak out is like to cause a strong emotion that's kind of a negative, nervous emotion, or that's just, you feel like you're kind of overflowing with either like nervousness or like excitement. To freak out has a couple of different meanings. But when you say that really freaks me out, it's kind of a negative, like sort of scared emotion. So in a sentence, cockroaches really freak me out. So you feel like uncomfortable. It's kind of like this gross, like creepy, crawly feeling about it. It's like, that freaks me out. So that's one use. That really freaks me out. I'm freaking out right now. The next expression is I'm freaking out, or I'm freaking out right now. So in the last expression, we saw that really freaks me out. In this expression, we say I'm freaking out in the progressive tense. I'm freaking out, which means like I'm super, super, super excited, or I'm like super, like I have so much energy about something. So freaking out sounds kind of like a nervous activity, but we can use it for like exciting things as well. I can say like, oh my gosh, I forgot my car keys. I'm freaking out right now. How am I going to get home? We can use it to express like nervousness or anxiety, but we can also say something exciting like, you got tickets to Beyonce? I'm freaking out right now. Like we use it in a very positive way sometimes as well. So you can kind of choose depending on your emotion. Are you afraid or are you excited, surprised? Both are okay. That really creeped me out. The next expression is that really creeped me out. That really creeped me out. So creepy is a word we've talked about in a previous episode of Top Words on the horror movie episode of Top Words. So something that is creepy causes nervous feelings, or like we can't relax. It's kind of unsettling or strange. So something that causes those feelings in us, we can describe with a phrase, that creeped me out. That caused creepy feelings in me. Ugh, that thing creeped me out. So like bugs creep me out, for example. More than creep me out. I hate bugs. So in another sentence, yeah, I saw the ring. It really creeped me out. So something that causes uneasy feelings in you. I was so sketched out. The next expression is I was so sketched out. I was so sketched out. So here we are using the word sketch or sketched, which doesn't actually mean rough drawing here. This is sort of a slang phrase that has become commonly used throughout different types of English. To be sketched out by something means to have like nervous feelings that something is kind of dangerous. So creepy is just sort of unsettling, like difficult to relax. Sketchy is about a person usually, or like a situation that seems it could be dangerous. There could be something dangerous actually. It's not just that it's kind of scary, but there's maybe some danger there. So sketchy, like we don't know what's going to happen next. In a sentence then, I think a car was following me today. I was so sketched out. Holy. The next expression is holy something. Holy something. So we can say holy cow or holy other rude words. You can check some TV and movies for other words. You can finish this sentence with holy something. So we use this as just an exclamation. So when we're surprised or when we're afraid or when we're excited, we can say holy cow or like holy I'm not going to say other words that people use because this is a family channel, but holy something can mean anything depending on the situation and the sort of tone of voice that you use with this word. Holy cow is a pretty common expression, but for surprise, usually. I would say the kind of rude expressions are more commonly used for fear. Oh my God. The next expression is, oh my God, oh my God. So depending on your intonation, you can kind of change the meaning of this word. You can express your surprise with, oh my God, or you can express like fear, like, oh my God. So depending on the way you say this word, you can kind of change the meaning. But you can use this in a lot of different expressions. I'm sure you've heard this expression before. Oh my God, also oh my gosh too, if you don't like to use the word God. In an example sentence, oh my God, there's a bee in the car. What? Okay, the next expression looked kind of funny on screen. It's just, what? What? So we can use this as a very casual form of surprise. What? So when someone surprises you, usually a friend, a good friend, and you're just stunned, like you're so surprised and shocked, but you don't feel like excited, you're just like, whoa. It's difficult for you to kind of say anything or do anything. Some people react with, what? Like that kind of long A sound. So it's usually used for surprise, actually, or something new that you just, oh my gosh, I can't react to this. It's just, what? That's all. Just, that's a simple reaction. So you might hear this as well for surprise, generally. In an example, a surprise party? What? You got me good. The last expression is you got me good. You got me good. This is an expression you can use when your friend or someone else you know plays a joke on you. So your friend tries to trick you, or your friend tries to scare you, or whatever, tries to get a reaction from you, usually by scaring you or surprising you. If the trick or the joke was effective, you can say, you got me good. You got me good. This is kind of like a, okay, I admit, like, you got me. You defeated me, in other words. You made me afraid, or you surprised me. So you can say, you got me good. You got me good. So that's the meaning of this expression. Nice job. In other words, you got me good. In a sentence, you got me good. Those are 10 ways to express fear and surprise. If there's another expression you like to use, please be sure to let us know in the comments for sure. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other good study resources. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome back to Top Words. In this lesson, we're going to talk about 10 contractions you should be using. I recommend these because if you don't use the contracted forms of these words, you might sound a little stiff. So to sound a little more natural, these are some good contractions for you to use. Let's go. Dunno. The first contraction is dunno, 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 dunno. So dunno is a very casual contraction. It's not really like an official contraction, I suppose. You can write it D-U-N-N-O, but it means don't know. I don't know sounds kind of stiff. I don't know. I do not know. But I don't know. It sounds much better. Native speakers usually say dunno instead of don't know or do not know. Dunno. In a sentence. I don't know, what do you want to do? Wanna. The next expression is wanna, wanna. So I used wanna in the previous example sentence when I said, I don't know, what do you want to do? Wanna is the, again, casual contraction of want to. I want to do something. I don't want to do something. Want to becomes wanna in the kind of contracted form in speaking. Keep in mind that although we can use wanna in like casual text, it's typically better to use want to in more formal text. In a sentence, what do you want to do this weekend? Gotta. The next one is gotta, gotta. So gotta is got to, which means have to. So I've got to do something and I have to do something. But actually, we have this expression, I gotta or he's gotta, that we use instead of I've got to or I have to. So gotta expresses needs, like I gotta go, I gotta go. So in another sentence, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I've. The next contraction is I've. I've. I've is the contracted form of I have. I have. And of course, this V sound can be attached to others as well. So like I've, she's and he's takes an S sound. They've, we've as well. So it's this V sound in the contracted form, which refers to the have or has ending as in the present perfect tense. So I've. Make sure to use this I've form instead of I have in your speech to sound more natural. In a sentence, I've been so tired lately. He's, she's. The next one. Okay, so the next one is he's and she's, which is the same he has and she has. But we can also use this as he is and she is. So depending on the grammar of the sentence, he's and she's could mean he is or he has, and she is and she has. So this means you need to pay attention to the grammar overall of the sentence. For example, he is funny. That sentence can be he's funny. Or he's been on the phone all day. Is he has been on the phone all day. How do we know which is which? In the first sentence, he is funny, we see he is and then funny. An adjective follows that. That gives us a big hint that probably the verb is there, not has. In the other sentence, he's been on the phone all day, we see the past participle form of be, been. He has been. So we understand the S apostrophe S is actually has there, not is. So this is a great one to help you pay attention to the grammar of a sentence because he's and she's have the same contracted form, but different meanings depending on the situation. In another sentence, he's my best friend. I'd. The next one is one that many people ask about. I'd. I've talked about this in Ask Alicia as well too. I'd. Many people say they have trouble hearing I'd in a sentence like I like beer and I'd like a beer, for example. How do you hear that? So again, this is another situation where you need to pay attention to the grammar of the sentence. If you say, I like beer, it's referring to your preference. I like beer. However, if you are ordering at a restaurant, I'd like refers to I would like. The contracted form of I would is I'd. I would like a beer, please. So that's a request, an order. So I'd has a very different grammatical function than I. Therefore, you need to listen to the entire sentence to understand the difference between I and I'd and when to use them. So I'd. And of course, with different subjects, we'd, he'd, she'd, they'd, and so on, you'd as well. It's that kind of soft D sound at the end there. So try to listen for that, and of course, try to use the contracted form too. In a sentence, I'd like to order, please. Would've, could've, should've. The next one is actually three words that are all very similar. They are would've, could've, and should've. The non-contracted forms are would have, could have, and should have. So we use these to talk about past events. So I would have gone to the party if I had had time, for example. Or I could have helped you if you called me. Or I shouldn't have. Oh, that's a nice one. The negative form. Shouldn't have. Shouldn't have is the negative form. I shouldn't have drank so much last night. So should have becomes should have. Should not have becomes shouldna. Shouldna. I've talked about this in Ask Alicia as well too. But would have becomes would have. Therefore, would not have, wouldn't have. Same thing with could have, couldn't have as well. Should have, shouldn't have. So these are all kind of contracted forms that sound much more natural when you're speaking. So these are kind of past tense examples, but they have lots of different uses too. So wouldna, couldna, and shouldna are the most natural ways to say these words. Could not have, would not have, should not have. Yeah. Could not, would not, should not. All right, in a sentence, I should have worked harder yesterday. Then I could have finished earlier today. Lemmy. Number 8, the next one is lemmy. Lemmy, Michael talked about this in an episode of English Topics many years ago. Lemmy is an informal contraction for let me, meaning allow me. So let me followed by a verb. So let me buy you a drink, ho ho, or like let me go to sleep, or let me hang out and play video games, whatever. So allow me to do something. Let me. We can use this with other subjects like, just let him work, or just let her sleep. So that same sort of le sound is preserved, let him or let her, but the middle sound is kind of cut a little bit, is sort of contracted somewhat. But let me becomes let me. In a sentence, let me make you dinner. Gimme. The next expression is gimme. So similar to lemmy, which uses me at the end, we have gimme, which means give me something. So give me a moment of your time could be give me a moment of your time. So the contraction there, it decreases the distance between those two words. The v sound disappears. Gimme from give me. In a sentence, give me a few hours, I'll get back to you. It's. The last contraction is it's. So similar to he's and she's, which we talked about before, it's with the apostrophe S here, I should note, can refer to it is or it has. Again, we need to pay attention to the grammar overall of the sentence. So like, it's a dog is it is a dog, or it's been a long day. That case is it has been a long day. So again, we need to look to the verb that follows the expression to determine is it a has or an is. So in my first example, it's a dog. We see a noun there. Dog is a noun. It's a dog. In the second example, it's been a long day. We see a verb there. So we know it should be has. That past participle is a great hint. So please pay attention to it's as well. Try to use it's instead of it is. It's my favorite song. All right, that's it. So those are 10 contractions that you should be using. I hope that you can use these and listen for these as well. If you have some other contractions that you think are useful or that you try to use a lot yourself, please let us know in the comment section below this video. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other good resources. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, welcome to Top Words. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to talk about 14 money-related expressions. A quick reminder before we start the video, there are free PDF cheat sheets for you to download from the link below the video. Just check the YouTube description. You can find a bunch of different topics, including occupations, verbs, and various conversation practice cheat sheets. So make sure to check it out and find something that you want to use to practice. Okay, let's get on with the video. I need to save some money. I need to save some money. Okay, this money expression is used when you know that you don't have quite enough money for something. You want to express that you don't want to spend very much money and maybe you have a goal in mind. For example, I need to save some money to buy a new computer. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Next is, I'm broke. I'm broke. Okay, this broke means having no money. So this expression means I have no money, but it's a much more casual, kind of rough way to express this. We typically don't say this in polite situations. We use this in casual situations, like when we're talking with our friends. For example, I lost my job and now I'm broke. Make sure that you don't use broken in this sentence. That doesn't mean the same thing. I lost my job and I'm broke. Okay, next expression is, I don't have any cash. I don't have any cash. Okay, you can use this expression when maybe you're out with your friends, you want to pay for something at a restaurant or cafe maybe, and everybody has cash, meaning physical bills or maybe coins. And if you don't have any, you can say this, I don't have any cash. For example, oh no, I don't have any cash. Can you help me out? This "can you help me out" means can you give me a little bit of cash, with the idea being in the future, I'll pay you back. Okay, next expression. I just got paid. I just got paid. You can use this expression when you receive your payment for the month from your job, or maybe for the week, whatever it is for your payment schedule. When you receive your payment and you want to express that, usually happily, you can say, I just got paid. For example, I just got paid. I'm going to save a lot this month. Okay, next is, how much do I owe you? How much do I owe you? This is a question you can use when you know you need to give someone some money for something, but you don't know exactly the amount. You can say, how much do I owe you? For example, thanks for getting me a coffee. How much do I owe you? Which means, how much was that coffee? I want to give you the amount that I owe you. Okay, let's go to the next one. I owe you. I owe you. Okay, this is very similar to the previous one, but the difference here is when you say, I owe you, it's like you're just saying, I'll pay you back in the future, or I need to give you something in return, but I'm not specifically asking how much I owe you. For example, thanks for buying lunch today. I owe you. So you might use this expression to mean something kind of like, for example, I'll buy lunch next time, or I'll get a coffee for us next time. Some idea, some way of showing the other person that you recognize you need to give them something in return. Okay, next expression. It's payday. It's payday. All right, payday refers to the day upon which you receive your payment. So usually we say it's payday in a very excited way. For example, finally, it's payday. Let's go out for dinner. Please note that we typically don't use payday in polite or formal situations. We typically use payday when we're talking to our friends or our family members. Okay, next is salary. Salary. Okay, salary refers to one type of payment. When you receive a salary, it means you receive the same amount of money every month. This is different from other types of payment plans. So, for example, you could say something like, the salary for this position is negotiable. That means the amount of money that you receive every month or every year in this job is negotiable. So a salary is an expected amount that you'll receive every month, every pay period. Next is hourly wage. Hourly wage. An hourly wage refers to a payment system where you receive money per hour of work. So this is very common with part-time jobs. For example, if you have a $10 hourly wage, that means you receive $10 for every hour of work. For example, he found a part-time job with a good hourly wage. So keep in mind, an hourly wage is different from a salary, which is the same amount each month. Okay, let's go to the next expression. Gig. Gig. Okay, gig is a different type of working or a different type of receiving payment. With gig work, you do a job and you receive payment for that job only. So it's not necessarily about an hourly wage or a salary, but rather you get some money after you complete work. We often refer to these as gigs. For example, it's hard to find gigs as a freelancer. Gig work might be very common among people who do freelance work, meaning they are independent workers. Okay, let's go to the next expression. Paycheck. Paycheck. A paycheck refers to the amount you receive on payday. So it doesn't mean a physical check always. It just means the amount that you get in your bank account or maybe the amount you receive from your employer. So a paycheck refers to your payment. For example, I'm going to get my first paycheck next week. So paycheck generally is something that we talk about with a very positive expression. Okay, on to the next one. Next is direct deposit. Direct deposit. A direct deposit is an arrangement you can make with your bank and your employer in this case. When you have a direct deposit for your paycheck, that means the money from your employer automatically goes to your bank account. You don't have to do any paperwork or make any other arrangements to receive your money. For example, he set up a direct deposit for his paycheck. So this is a very, very common thing to do, and it helps make sure you get paid on time. Next is to return something. To return something. Okay, so when you need to get your money back in exchange for a product you purchased, you return that product. We use this a lot when we're doing like clothes shopping or maybe home shopping. For example, I need to return this sweater. This means I need to take this sweater back to the place where I bought it and get my money back. So return is a much easier way to say that, to return something. Okay, next is time is money. Time is money. Time is money is a very common expression that refers to money being a result of how much time and effort you put into something. So we all have the same amount of time. How do we use that time to ensure we get enough money or as much money as we want? For example, people often say time is money. Use your time efficiently. This is a very common expression, so I hope that it's one you can think about too. All right, that brings us to the end of 14 money-related expressions. What did you think? You can let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free PDF cheat sheets to learn even more useful English words and phrases. You can download them to any device or print them out. They're yours to keep, so click the link and get them for free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!
Access your free language gifts right now, before they expire. First, do you know how to give reasons in your target language? No? Then get our new Connecting Thoughts PDF cheat sheet right now. You'll master must-know linking words like but, and how to provide extra information. Second, the Top Key Phrases PDF. Download this PDF and pick up the 50 key phrases that new learners should know, covering pleasantries, introductions, small talk, and much more. Third, the 50 most common adjectives. If you're a beginner and don't know these adjectives, then this is a perfect chance to boost your vocabulary. This 1-minute lesson will get them stuck in your head, guaranteed. Fourth, 20 phrases you'll need at the movies. Learn how to say, "Excuse me, you're in my seat. I'd like to buy a ticket," and much more with this 1-minute phrase lesson. And fifth, looking for a new language learning app? With the innovative language learning app, you'll learn language fast through conversations, and you start speaking in minutes because our conversation lessons are just 3 to 15 minutes long. Download innovative language learning for free for the Android, iPhone, and iPad. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire.
Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.